when is Logan Paul going to announce the next box, right? That's where the money is. Like, think about this. If on his channel right now, Mr. Unknown just said they went for 20K, right? If Logan Paul says, I'm about to box break 3 first edition Team Rocket booster box, how much would it be?
I think he would try to do it for double for what it's sold for.
Yeah, easily 50, right? Easily 50, yeah. And the market will push. So our question is not really that. Our question is really like, who are these influencers? Like, what booster box are they going to push next? I feel like that's one of the biggest questions, you know.
And I mean, you're starting to see influencers of not in terms of the same in terms of the same. I wouldn't say influence. I mean, like some of them are big influencers, but I'd say like in terms of like monetary value, you're starting to see a lot of influencers come into the space just only focusing on base set. But obviously, we've seen, for those of you guys who haven't paying attention, we've seen Logan Paul with Dratini Stone God. We've seen him with a bunch of different people in the space looking at different cards outside of base set, you know? Mm-hmm. So the thing is that as more and more of these influencers are starting to get educated in the matter, because I just got done doing a recording with a big influencer just not too long ago, a couple of days ago. But
you gonna name drop?
His name is Chad with an AJ.
You did it with him?
Yeah, I did a recording a couple of days ago with him.
What?
He has 1.3 million subscribers. He's been doing like a trade up challenge essentially. He basically got an entire base set binder for a decent price and for a decent trade. However, when he's been really good about it. I think he's asking a lot of good questions in regards to cards and what they can go for and stuff like that. I think the guy, I think like not all influencers are bad. I think as more educated they become, the more populated this space is going to become, and the more expensive some of these cards are going to become. Like I said, a lot of these WotC sets outside of base are still undervalued in comparison to base set. Yeah. You know, it's ridiculous to see a PSA 9 Gold Star Rayquaza sell for $7,000 in comparison to a PSA 9 unlimited base set Charizard card. Like, yeah, we saw the PSA 9 sell for $7,000, 7.265.
Yeah, like, it's catching up. Like you said, it's a ripple effect. Yeah, and they're not exposed to this, and the more time we give them to educate it, it's going to be pushing the market back. But but when I talk about plateau, I just feel like we can't predict it. There's no plateau effect right now. Like
there's nothing is slowing down right now. I'd say right now we're still in a runway period. So like essentially we have to look at it in terms of because every market follows the same sort of cycle. Eventually we're going to see a correction. Not necessarily a crash. Like when people say the bubble pop, that signifies an actual crash, right? I think a lot of sets will experience a actual crash just because of the fact that some things are starting to get to the point where they're overvalued, specifically XY Evolutions and PSA 9s and anything below that. I think that people are trying to attribute the value of a PSA 9 to a PSA 10, and there's a huge difference in between the two. But in this case, when you look at vintage in particular, I think you might see like an actual sideways growth or actual correction, but not anything too significant. Where we're at right now, we're still in a runway period. So we're still testing all-time highs all the time. So that's why you're seeing people overvaluate something, because we don't know how expensive these things are. Because at the end of the day, consumers dictate the value. If it just comes down to one person buying something, and then boom, there you go. Right? So in this case, like I think we're in the middle of a runway period. I think we still have more growth to go in terms of this parabolic growth, because right now we're pretty parabolic right now. I think we're gonna see some significant stuff. But yeah, that's just my own perspective and what I'm seeing right now. I mean, obviously, I do talk to a lot of people, and we all think we're all thinking the same sort of thing.
Like, for example, like the base set too. Someone listed like a month ago for like $4,000 and then didn't sell it. This is Alpha Investment. This is where I'm going to cite my source. And so like he listed 4,000, someone offered him 3. Next week he listed it for like 7, someone offered him 6. He listed it for 10, someone offered him 8. He listed for 14, someone offered him 13. So he's just like testing it out, laughing at these people because he could care less about these boxes. But it's just funny to see him say that. And that goes along with your runway, right? It's just exponential. If they're willing to pay, if they're willing to offer, it's just going to keep pushing up.
Absolutely.
So another twist, like people have to think about with this epidemic going on, right? Is we all know that people have excess funds right now because they're not going on vacations, right? But we also have to think about what's causing that. And once society has normalized, people are going to go back to their normal routine, normal hobby. I to an extent, I feel like to some people that are joining this market, it's a fling for them, right? As soon as the hype is over, they're going back to their normal lives. They've had their fun and they're just gonna either whatever they have sit on it. And I'm not saying everybody, but we also have to think about that, and that's why I mentioned earlier, like modern sets aren't investable because the amount of people coming in right now, there are going to be people that are going to also leave, you know. So we have to also take that into account. And
I mean, the biggest, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I can almost see this too. And I don't know what's going behind the doors, but as far as Logan Paul goes, to me, looking from the outside, I do think he's a passionate collector, but looking from the outside, I think this is just a fling for him. Like, I don't think, hold on, let me finish. I don't think as his channel and what his channel stands for, he's not all of a sudden becoming a Pokemon channel, you know? He is a businessman. There are so many bigger investments that he can invest in, and once his hype is over for Pokemon, I think he's a one-way street out of Pokemon. He's going to have the cards. He's always going to have the first edition. He's a collector by heart. He is a Pokemon passionate person. But once his hype is over, he's going to move his videos on to the next best thing. Because just think about it. He generates six figures every month on videos. A $20,000, $400,000 box, it's not penny change to him, but it's so insignificant. Compared to everything else he's buying, compared to everything else he can generate or money he can make. He's probably making millions off just selling shirts. He could spend his time doing that other than Pokemon. He has so many other different revenue sources that it just seems, that's the only reason why I'm calling out, like, why I feel like it's a fling. But it's just a different perspective. So that's why I'm trying to tie it into along the lines of, like, this is a fling for some people, right? This is a fling for some people. It's all hype, but it's not fake hype, right? It's definitely real hype.
I see it's like kind of genuine. I don't know if the whole card aspect is a fling, but I know he genuinely does like Pokemon. If you go back and watch some of his TikToks or even some of his older content, he's been talking about Pokemon for quite some time now. Actually, if you pay attention, like way before he actually got into cards, and so. I don't know. I mean, I think that when you look at the gains in regards to Pokemon and what gain and the gains that Pokemon is experiencing right now, you're not going to see this sort of gains anywhere. Like you don't even see cryptocurrency going as volatile as this. You don't see.
That's scary right though. That's really scary. That's really scary to see something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like in this case, I mean, also when you look at. But the thing is that this is an actual physical thing in comparison to Bitcoin. But when you talk about Pokemon cards right now, in comparison to everything else, I mean, like it's going a lot higher than stocks, right? But the thing is that I think that people see this as a very good opportunity. We're young people. We're coming into money. We can make riskier investments in regards to stocks. Obviously, like when we get older, we can't really do this sort of stuff. But like in this case, I just think that Logan does like this. There's a lot of people that are in this space that are solely in it for the money. And that's totally fine too. I just think that if you're coming into this space, you had to have some sort of level of respect for people who are out here who've been doing this for quite some time.
Thank you for watching and coming by to my channel, Yuzi Pokemon. Yeah, if you like my content, consider subscribing. It's free. And if you don't like my stuff later on, you can always unsubscribe too. Yeah, that's all we got. We'll see you later.